Hello, Kenyans. Yeah, hello, friends, and all of you people who follow podcast my channel. Thank you for being part of my support system, and thank you for being true friends. Today, I want to talk about the State of Nation address, which to me, I believe it will not give any solutions to the problems which are bedeviling Kenya. As you are aware that today, the Kenyan president will go to the parliament with an aim of explaining what has been ha- what has what has been happening for the last 2 years or 3 years, however you want to call it. Let me explain the reason why I think State of Nation address will solve nothing, will do nothing, will help no one. First of all, as you are aware, Mr. William Ruto administration has been bedeviled by many accusations. There are so many things which are not working well for Mr. William Ruto. As you are aware, just yesterday or yesterday, we had a problem where, hi, how are you, Salome and Goge? Karibu sana, keep subscribing. That State of Nation address, which will happen today, is the state of death of the nation. I think Mr. William Ruto will be trying to explain the state of death of our nation. As you are aware, there are so many bad things which have happened. Let's forget about economic, because economic sometimes people might say that they are very difficult to isolate. But as you are aware, there is a lot of lawlessness in our country. Right now, people are being abducted right, left, and center. Just over the weekend, Mr. Kiza Besigye, the opposition leader from Uganda, had come to witness the book launch in Madakaroa event. And the guy was abducted in Communicado and he was extradited back to his nation, something which should not happen in a sovereign nation. It is very bad for Kenya to cooperate with Uganda to arrest a citizen who is in Kenya. That is barbaric, that is evil, and should be condemned. And we are condemning it. And that is why we are saying the Kenyan president is descending into territories which are not good, and he is risking to be punished by Kenyans in the next 2 years. Salome Ngoge, thank you. I'm learning a lot from you, sir. Thank you, Salome Ngoge. Nashukuru sana. Tutaendelea kusoma hapa pamoja. Hata mimi nasoma. So what I'm trying to say here is that Kenyans should not even switch their TVs to listen to that state of nation. There is nothing like state of nation which will be addressed there. It will be massaging issues which are not there. And we cannot continue to listen to lies. Why was Besigye extradited from Kenya? Why were Turkish nationals 1 month ago extradited from Kenya? And these are the people who pray meek and weak and said that they had to give us one of the best government the world has never seen. And now these are the people who are abducting people, causing vendetta amongst themselves, saying some people cannot work for them and engineering impeachment motions for them. Leave alone the issue of economy, because on economy they don't understand anything. I can tell you, Mr. Ruto regime has no concept on economy. They are using guesswork. They have no way. They have no concept. They don't know where to start. That is why you see Kenyans are just transcending on places whereby they have no money, they have nothing. That is why everybody is suffering, regardless of who you are. Whether you are working, you have a company, you are a hustler, you are a farmer. Everybody is suffering in equal measure, because these people, they have no concept of how to run a conventional government. Running government is a difficult activity, and I want to tell you, ladies, brothers, and sisters, it's not easy to run a government, and especially when you are running a government and you don't have character, itakushinda. Governments are only run by people who know what they are doing. Governments are difficult by nature because there is a lot of many things there is a lot of coordination which has to happen. Coordination from within. and coordination with other nations, coordination from within, whereby the citizens have to feel comfortable and people from other countries have to feel comfortable. And at the same time, you have to create money and the people have to see it physically. So that is why it is very difficult to learn a government. That is why if you are not prepared, and I think Mr. William Ruto was never prepared to be the Kenyan president from day one. Why? Because the only thing, he started with the blame game. When you become a president, you never come with the blame. You come with the solution. You are never elected to come and start blaming people who are there. You have been elected. Taxes is a continuous process. It doesn't stop. So you now start generating your own income from day one. So you come with the complaints. The reason why I'm not performing it is because of the previous guy. The reason why I'm not performing it is because there were so many debts which I don't know what I can do. Those are qualities of non-performer. Too much complaints, that's a non-performer. The reason why I think even when we are talking to our kids, ukisikia mtoto wako akikwambia every time when you are talking with your kids, they are just giving complaints, they are doing nothing. Complaints is as a result of non-result oriented attitude. So today they have a state of nation address, they call it. So what are they going to describe? Is it going to describe those abductions? Is it going to describe the reason why Kenyans cannot have basic commodities in their table? Why Kenyans cannot have food in their fridges, for those who have fridges? Why Kenyans cannot get money from what they produce? Why Kenyans cannot make money from the businesses they do? So what is it going to explain to people? Because I don't understand. So in a nutshell, I don't see any credible information which is going to tell people there is too much devastation from everywhere. But it is unfortunate because I don't know how Kenyans are going to stand another 2 years of whatever is happening. I don't know. But I had also heard that there could have been Mandano today. I don't know how that process of Mandano, maybe Salome Ngogi, you can tell me if you're still in the podcast. I can see one person. So I don't know how he is going to hinge himself on making Kenyans to feel comfortable of what is happening in our nation, because Kenyans do not feel comfortable. Kenyans feel a lot of devastation. So I need to hear from one of us here, because we have to talk, and it is very important. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to see how we are going to engineer a new Kenya, a Kenya which is not being governed by lies, a Kenya which is being governed by virtues. We have to reach there. So I'm trying to tell somebody that I'm on. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to explain here, which is very important. Kenyans they are at a point of desperation. Kenyans are at a point whereby they don't know what they can do. But one thing which I know is that Kenyans, they should not worry. Help is on the way. You have the most important weapon in your pocket. As long as you have a voter's card and the ID, you can decide your future in the days to come. Don't worry. Only that we need to be focused, and we should not forget what this government has made us to feel. That would be our mistake, Sarom and Gogi and the rest. Our mistake would be to forget what Mr. William Ruto government has made us to feel. That feeling should stay within us forever. The feeling of desperation, the feeling of not having money, the feeling of abduction, losing our friends, relatives, cousins, citizens, fellow citizens, that feeling should not exit us. And the day of election, when it will come, we should go to the ballot remembering that. We should go to the ballot. And I want to tell Kenyans now, Madam Salome, when we are going to the ballot, let us not forget that this is the administration which was abducting people. This was the administration which could not make us to eat. This was the administration which could not handle protest as well. This was the administration which could not do anything serious for Kenya. This was the administration which supervised a lot of corruption in our nation. This is the administration which made us to suffer. Those are things which we cannot forget, and we should not risk forgetting, no matter what they do. Even if in the next 1 year, when we will be close to election and they pour a lot of money, we should not forget the pain which these people made us to go through. And now we start now saying that these people might deserve another term, and we see if they can be able to correct their mistakes. Kenyans never forget what this administration made you to feel. Never forget the hunger, lack of food, eh? Lack of money, lack of health, lack of money to pay school fees. Never ever forget that. That is what we need to be feeling every day. Hii serikali imefanya tusikie namna gani? The feeling, depression, mental disorder, because of the things which are happening in our nation. That feeling cannot exist us. Wacha nisome comment kidogo. Somebody is trying to call my phone, but it cannot pick. Sorry, I'm not in Kenya right now. Just watching and praying for my country. Baba, okay, that's okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it's true. Salome, even if you're not in the country, I want to tell you that there is nothing good in our country now. It's unfortunate. There's nothing good in our country. There's a lot of desperation. Maybe to give you first account event, what is happening? People do not feel as if they're being served by the government, which is meant to serve them. Even doing the minimum, I don't think they are doing. And it is something which is really turning down to Kenyans, and they feel a state of hopelessness and desperation, and they do not know what to do. So Salome, even without having details of what is happening, I know you occasionally watch the TV. That is the truth. Sometimes you will feel so much anger. Watu wanafukuzwa makwao, they don't have places to go. There's no formula. Hata wale ambao wanakaa mahali sio kwao, there must be a formula of you need to be informed and be given a formula of getting out of where you are, because you're a human being. You have to be facilitated. There is a reason which took you there in the first place. So Salome, our country is not doing good. I can tell you this. Our parents are not okay. Our mothers are not okay. Even though our old people, I hear they receive that old generation money, but there are so many things which are not happening for our nations, and I don't think people are very proud of what is happening. So those are things which we have to still continue carrying on and telling God to help us and give us the grace to have a good nation in as we move along. We need to thank God that things will be okay, things will be good. But things cannot be good because of this administration. Things will be good because God has given us an opportunity and a chance to be His children and to work for ourselves and to benefit from what we do from our hands. But based on what the government is doing, I don't think we have a lot to be proud of. There are so many things which are not working well, and I think there are so many forces of desperation which are playing in our nation. And you also need to understand, when the nation or when a country is not working well and there is so much desperation, worshippers and the people who believe God, they start praying against that government. And that's why you see bad governments will always continue being extremely bad because of that vendetta which they receive from God. So those are the issues now. That is what happened. When a government decides to be bad because of the cries of people, that government does not become good. That government becomes worse and worse until it ends. So that is why, because that is the only way in which God can remove bad governance. God will never remove bad governance by making it better. God removes bad governance by making it worse. So that when that government becomes worse, forces of good will come and rescue the people of God. Remember, even when Pharaoh was mistreating the Jews, Israelites, while they were in Egypt and they were having so bad things, God actually made the heart of Pharaoh to become more hard, so that actually he could punish him, and there was a reason of God actually to get his people from there, and so that he can manifest his glory. That is what happened. So you people, you should not expect Mr. William Ruto to become good. He will never become good, because forces of good are not in him. And you can see there are all signs which show that our presidency is not working for the people. They are either working for themselves or working for somebody else. You heard of the issues of Adani, which have not been resolved. I think the court has stopped some of the things which they are supposed to do in Kenya. But the truth of the matter is that Andani did not come well into Kenyan quarter. Andani was to come into Kenya and further continue the desperation which Kenyans were having. So there are so many things which are not working good in Kenya. And we have to be serious and monitor everything which is happening with a powerful eye that we will respond when we will be called upon to do it. And citizens, after every 5 years, we have an opportunity to punish whoever is not doing good for us. And I want to confirm to Kenyans, even if Zakaria is there up to 2027, in 2027, we have an opportunity to make sure that that guy gets 0 votes in Kenya. Whether you are a surrogate or not, whether you are his proxy or not, I don't think there is anyone who is benefiting in this government. I'm yet to find one person who has benefited from this government. I don't know. I'm yet to find any program which has benefited Kenyans from this government. I'm yet to see something which is working for this government. And nice by this your story, Achuki. We follow many government. Personally, I follow many government, both international and local. I follow even African government. Why are we saying Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso is doing great? Why are we saying some of these presidents in Africa are doing something monumental things which we can see? Remember, Ibrahim Traore was the first person to say that he doesn't need the salary, and he used some of the government coffers to actually buy many tractors which were being given to the farmers. Why is it that we are talking about positivity of Ibrahim Traore? Why are we not hearing of Mandano in Burkina Faso? So when we are talking of things working for the good, citizens can actually see how things are working, and they can be able to actually ask themselves, how are things working? So when we are talking about these things, we are not talking about things which we do not understand. The truth of the matter is that we understand how our nation is being governed, but the truth of the matter is that our nation has lost everything which it had gathered for the last 60 years. I think the next generation will have to come and rebuild that nation once again. Previous presidents, maybe they had built our nation to a level of 60% or to a level of 50%, may I say that? But I can tell you, brothers and sisters, we have returned back to the trench. We are now at the 20%, 10%, almost losing our nation. But I hope before we lose our nation, forces of good will have dealt with Mr. William Ruto. And this is one thing which I'm always telling Kenyans. Any force of good which would stand against Ruto will have life. Any person who has good concept, who knows what to do and will be able to speak to Kenyans well, he will be able actually to outdo Mr. William Ruto, and he can actually remove him from power. Because everything that which is functional in our nation has refused to work. And that is why I want to tell Kenyans, let's put a keen interest and a keen eye on what is happening in our nation. And we should not grow weary, and we continue speaking this truth to all the other people. Let's tell people what they should expect from their government. Let's teach our people the expectation of the government, what governments are supposed to do. When the government is doing wrong things, we tell our people. That is how we will be able to emancipate our people from bondages of voting people who are not helping them. And that is one of the reasons which has made me actually stay here and be part of this podcast or be part of your audience, so that you can also understand the expectations which you need to get from the government. And I can tell you, and any person who will come to watch this video, and as you subscribe, that Mr. William Ruto administration has fallen short of expectation of Kenyans, and actually they need to be ousted or they need to be voted out, whichever comes first. But the truth of the matter is that Kenyans will never be better. I think things will never work well. That devastation and the desperation will continue. How it stops is what I don't know. In many countries where systems are not working, that desperation stops when those people are voted out. But for us in Kenya, I don't know how this desperation is going to get out. Because why? Because we also seem to have a very big group which is trying to side with this person who is mistreating Kenya. It is so bad to hear somebody of the status of Kisa Besigye being taken out of Kenya without serious explanation. It is unfathomable. It is unthinkable. It should not happen, especially for a country like Kenya, which is usually in the global radar, and we always claim that we are that serious democracy, which should be a moral example in Africa. Such things should not happen. I agree. If you look at Kenya, we have so many headquarters of international agencies. I know even some of those agencies now are worried or they are shocked of what is happening. I think even international people, they cannot be able to speak with boldness of what is happening in Kenya because also they risk to be abducted or to get lost. So those are the things. I think this Mr. William Ruto administration is also destroying our image. They are destroying the values which we have so built for so long. But I don't know why we have to live with him like this. I know something will ever happen, and this guy will exit power. If not today, another day will come. I know people are getting tired, and it reaches a time when the forces of good say enough is enough. And today, we might see as if there's not enough momentum to do anything serious in Kenya. But a day will come when Kenyans will descend running and they tell this regime, we cannot suffer any longer. That silent majority, which by the way exists, sometimes you might think as if people are not speaking and they are okay. Those people are feeling very bad. And I want to tell you, if there was an election today, Mr. William Ruto will be ousted. And by the way, you'll continue losing people. Don't think that some of the people who are serving with him, they are very happy with some of the reasons which are happening. Yeah, that's Modomode Karibu. Don't think that some of the people who are working with Mr. William Ruto, they are very happy of what is happening. It's only that some of those people, they don't know how they can exit. But the truth of the matter is that when it will be very close to election, there will be mass exodus from Mr. William Ruto government because people even within the government are not happy. It's only that they don't want to exit now for the fear of being followed also, because you know even the government follows its own people who want to cause havoc within them. So hata yeye mwenyewe usifikirie tu watu wamefurahia sana wale wanafanya na serikali. They are not happy because they know some of these things are not very good. Don't think that even these people are doing abduction. They are very happy of what they are doing. It's only that it is an instruction which they are adhering to now. But when a day of a sane leader will come, some of these people will not be there. So, and that's why I'm saying some of the people in that government, it's not that they are very happy. Some of them, they are just there to earn salaries and scheming how they will also become part of the next government which is coming. Lakini tu wanajipangia hapo tu, wanasema tu tuko pamoja, but their hearts are not there. Because many civilized citizens don't think that they can just support a regime which is causing anarchy on its citizens and without worry. They are also worried. So, Bwana Desmond Omondi, I request you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Share my channel to people. We are trying to educate people here. We are trying to sound an alarm of some of the things which are happening in our nations, which are not very good. And we have to keep on talking and talking. Because if we don't talk, we risk losing our nation. And remember, we will have that citizen who will get tired. We will have that citizen who will get tired and he will decide to take action on his hand, and he will come to rescue us. Many countries, they have gotten that one citizen who gets tired and he says enough is enough, I'm going to unseat this government. You don't need political experience or political power to unseat a wrong government. You just need to have ideas and methodologies. That is why I encourage people like Akina Morara Sana. I encourage any force of good which is having contrary opinion other than this government. You people continue coming out. You could be the people who can assemble that momentum and that coalition which can actually drive this government out. But Mr. William Ruto government, I think it has lost trust of the people. I don't think there is anything they can tell people and people can believe them. I don't think even the next people who will be willing to form a coalition with him, I don't know how they will be convinced. Even ODM, which momentarily went to work with the government, I don't think they also want to become part of that legacy of abduction. I think Mr. William Ruto government is having very bad legacy. And I don't think any serious person would want to be associated with that legacy. And when the Kenyan history will be written, this administration is going to have very, very bad history. And for your information, from my own scoring, it is the worst administration ever. It is the worst administration ever. I don't think we have ever gotten such administration like this one. And it is good to be speaking these things. We have never ever gotten such an administration. Ladies, brothers, and sisters, keep subscribing to my channel so that we can continue building this momentum and this information for the purpose of emancipating Kenyans and for us to become free. You know, we are the Mau people who fought for our freedom. Second, I don't know if it is second or first liberation. Maybe let's call it second liberation. No, first liberation, where our fathers, our grandfathers, they took bows, arrows, and spears, and they fought for us. Now we are the modern day Mau who have to take another weapon in whichever form. I don't know whether it is like this internet. If internet is the weapon, like what Gen Zs were doing, if we have to use internet and we destroy this regime, we have to do it. So today I will be following what will be happening. I heard from somebody who told me that today there is a possibility of having Mandano. I don't know how it will unfold. I hope police, if there will be any Mandamano, maybe I can get from the people listening to me. If there is any Mandamano, I call on police to respect rule of law and they respect protesters. I don't think these protesters are thieves. They should not be killed. They should not be sprayed with poisonous water. These people should be protected. They should be shown where to protest from. They should be safeguarded and be given water and food because they will be conducting their civilized duty. So let me know if there is still Mandamano. It is something which we can follow. In any case, if the desperation which I'm hearing, if the church is complaining, if the civil rights movement, like I have had now, Kenya National Human Rights Commission, they are complaining and even giving the list of abducted dead people. What if all these complaints we are hearing, they are about the Kenyan government? Then the Kenyan government is not doing well. Things have to happen. People have to demonstrate. All that noise is too much. And I don't think that these people, they are talking these things because they hate their government too much. But I think Kenyans have to continue speaking and we have to continue fighting for this government as a people who want to do serious things for this nation. Let's continue building momentum, which can take us up to 2027, whereby we are going to, in one accord, vote this government out because they cannot exist. We have to vote them out. And by the way, regimes crumble, regimes fall. So there should not be any worry. People think that any regime cannot fall. Regimes fall. So I want to encourage somebody here. Don't worry. Help is on the way. A day is coming when this person will crash, crumbling, like a free fall target, which is crumbling on a soil, in a soil direction. So that's what I wanted to tell you today, guys. So let's keep following and encouraging Kenyans. Let's help each other. If you have food and your neighbor doesn't have food, let's share amongst ourselves because I know things are not very good. I know maybe we don't have enough. Let's also start knowing how to fast because now fasting is also important. At times, now this is a time when now we should pray God the more. So if we don't have enough food, let's now teach ourselves how to do fasting. Fasting is a good thing which allows you to seek the face of God, and at the same time you save resources and you also build your body. So those are the many things which fasting can do. Actually, fasting can help us deal with the zakah. You make sure that you are not spending a lot of money on food which is not there. At the same time, you're also spending some time to pray. So, and at the same time, God is bedding is here more to listen to you. That is why fasting is important, especially in times of tribulation, in times of desperation. Fasting is important, and we cannot ignore fasting. We cannot ignore meekness and humility before God, and we cannot ignore doing the right thing. Those are things which we have to put and they have to come into place to create that oneness and to create that mentality that there is a cause which we have to achieve in the next 2 years. Because for sure we have a cause to achieve. There must be a concerted effort. There must be a united effort of all Kenyans, regardless of creed, color, and race, of assembling and deciding on what we are going to do with Zakaya. Because surely by 2027, we should have dealt with this problem a long time ago. But in case this guy reaches 2027, we have to make sure that he is not elected, he gets the least votes, less than a million, and we will have solved this, and it is possible. So Kenyans, ladies, brothers, and sisters, I appreciate for you lending me your ears. Till we meet another time tomorrow. Shalom. Appreciated. Kenya is a place to defend. Kenya is a place to defend. I hear Murara saying Kenya ni home. My motto is Kenya is worth defending, and we have to defend Kenya. We have to defend Kenya from any loghood, any unlawlessness. We have to defend Kenya. So please, if you have heard this podcast and you feel that whatever we have said here is relevant to another individual, share with them. Till we meet another time, have a good night, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you.